Hello and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. Today we're going to have a look at a new Horizon story that was added in the most recent update, which was on October 23rd I think. It's called British Racing Green. We'll do a couple of these and here we go on.
Great to see you. We're shooting a documentary about car culture in the UK and I need a second driver. You've made a name for yourself and it would be great to have you aboard. It's simple. You drive, I tell the story. Let's do it.
Let's do it. At 70 miles per hour. Right, so we're in speed then.
From Aston Martin to McLaren and Bentley, Great Britain is home to over a century of automotive excellence. I'm Rebecca Dawson. Welcome to British Racing Green, a documentary celebrating that history.
Silver? I know what she means,
The
but
Aston Martin DB5 Vantage was the quintessential Grand Tourer of the 1960s, combining British engineering and Italian design.
okay. The car feels okay. Or it did. A bit slidey. It feels slow, but it's not actually slow. Just feels it. Maybe I'm too used to driving the fast ones now.
The Vantage featured side-draft carburettors and a refined camshaft profile, capable of a blistering top speed of 162 miles an hour in 1964.
Oh, I've got it on
The clean
manual
lines of
shifting.
Superleggera's bodywork, reclining seats and wool carpets created a car that was luxurious as well as fast.
That was a bit hard into that corner. There we go. Absolutely lovely scenery in this game. I just don't tire of it at all. I'll be doing Red Dead videos
This car
starting tomorrow.
formed the basis for the DB range.
Be sure to check
Later
back
cars improving
tomorrow
the
evening.
design in many ways, but none would ever achieve the sheer iconic perfection of the Vantage.
I'm gonna go hard with them.
200 meters. Turn left.
For all of its beauty and engineering perfection, only 65 of these beautiful machines would ever be built. If you own one, you own a piece of British history.
In 200 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
The silver
There we go.
DB5 would be immortalized in half a century of cinema. The classic Aston Martin.
It's pretty cool. It gives a bit of backstory to the cars.
But in 2016, a new DB was unveiled, heralding the dawn of Aston Martin's second century. The DB11 is the first production turbocharged Aston Martin.
Gorgeous.
Is it a worthy successor to that legacy?
Oh, we get to use this.
The short answer is yes. It's bold, responsive and agile, with perhaps the best GT chassis in the world. And listen to it.
Oh, I'm too used to driving the old one.
Able to hit 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, the DB11's 5.2-litre twin-turbo V12 boasts a top speed of over 200 miles an hour.
I need to dial it in a bit. Be a bit more cautious.
The DB11 is not the fastest car in the world, but then it's not trying to be. It's sophisticated, effortless luxury. It's an Aston Martin.
It's gorgeous. It really is a nice car. I love the colour on this more.
The DB11's front strakes channel air to create a virtual spoiler, providing downforce without compromising the car's clean lines. Brilliant.
Sometimes that racing line's a nuisance. Or the braking line, sorry.
Most importantly, I think, the DB11 proves that Aston Martin is ready for another century of beautiful cars. And I can't wait.
It's gorgeous. Well, the whole game is gorgeous. Look at it. Look at the Glenfinnan Viaduct.
Beautiful as they are, Aston Martins are only one of many cars made in the United Kingdom. Let's see what else is out there.
Hey, $3. In the floors. Right, let's see what's next. What's
This is
this?
shaping up nicely.
Range Rover? Land Rover?
Time for a change of pace, though.
Land
At
Rover.
least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover, and we'll be starting out with the Type 3.
Let's do it. Now, this is a bit more sluggish. Has to be expected.
Land Rover, the British sports utility vehicle. But before that, they were actual utility vehicles. Solid, tough trucks, unstoppable over almost any terrain.
In 400 meters, turn left.
The Land Rover Type 3 marks the point where that shift begins. And we'll be looking at what that meant.
A true British classic, this is. Still used worldwide. It's really slow, but it feels it.
Land Rovers have taken on almost every task imaginable. They've been generators, tractors and ambulances. They've brought peace and carried medicines to disaster zones. They've even been buses.
Been
Over
buses?
500,000 Series 3s were built, and over 70% of those are still on the road today. They were extensively exported and built under license abroad. Belgium, South Africa, even Australia and New Zealand.
I think the noise of
Robust
it.
chassis and signature Land Rover engineering, the Type 3 also marked the first time that buyers could choose interior options, like seat box protectors and cubby boxes.
Interesting. I guess.
That trend continued, and by 1982, Land Rover were offering the county spec Type 3. Leisure drivers could choose from such luxuries as all-cloth seats, soundproofing and tinted glass. The trend was increasingly clear, and the future of the Land Rover was starting to take shape. If you squinted, you could already see the shape of the first sports utility vehicle, the Range Rover.
Guessing that's what we'll be driving
While
next.
stock Type 3 would never be particularly fast uphill, there is almost no hill that it couldn't climb. Or dam, for that matter, if you put a proper winch on it.
Handles a bit of a freeze, I must admit. There's
In
really no trouble at
1978,
all.
a Series 3 was custom built for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It only had 1,892 miles on the clock when it was auctioned into private hands. And it was in perfect condition. It would be. After all, she trained as a mechanic in the 1940s and will likely remain the only royal able to strip and rebuild an engine.
Bit wide.
200 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Gone it down this hill.
Along with the Range Rover, others would follow. Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none of them were a replacement for the Type 3. They were a different kind of car.
Alright. Got it then. Nope, there we go, a
The
bowler.
Type 3 was arguably the first sports utility vehicle, an evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this. The Bowler Nemesis, an off-road racing vehicle that turned into a production SUV, the Nemesis EXR.
Now this is more like it.
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
Right, so we just need to beat the skills target. I'll bounce about a bit, smash through some stuff, drift a bit. Oh, 25,000, already beat it. We'll go for a high one to try and make sure I get to 3 stars. I'm guessing that's included. What was a hard fall? Don't want to hit, absolutely waste my skill chain either. Thought I was going to waste it there. That was a bit of a nosedive. Right, so we're at about 100,000 score. Really try not to write it off. I'm guessing I should do it nicely. I'll keep going until the timer. I think once that timer ends it should register whatever score I've got anyway. But it should.
This is an all-terrain supercar. That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you build an SUV
There's the
with
3
Land
stars, so I
Rover
guess so.
DNA.
Right, that was pretty cool. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, a
I
Lotus.
hope you're enjoying yourself. I know I am. It's great to be able to just focus on telling the story while someone else handles the driving for once. Let's get to the next one. This time, it's Lotus.
Let's do it. This is a bit more nippy than the Land Rover. It's really small.
Lotus Engineering
Very
Limited
narrow.
began as many stories in British engineering do. In an old barn. The first Lotus cars were offered as kits. You built them yourself. From 1962, they began to actually build the cars themselves. The Elan Sprint showed exactly what they intended to do. Built around a steel backbone with a fiberglass chassis, the Sprint weighed in at a meager 687 kilos parked on the curb. On the road, this translated into brilliant agility and fantastic performance.
Pretty cool that
Designer
they
Colin Chapman
came out as
famously
kit
said,
cars.
adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere. He knew what he was talking about.
Turn right. In 100 meters, turn left.
I really like this.
Widely hailed as one of the greatest sports cars of the 1960s, the Elan would be closely studied and emulated, inspiring such masterpieces as the Mazda MX-5. The Elan has all the energy, style, and enthusiasm you would expect. Bold, quick, and fun. So much so that they put it in the name.
That was pretty fast. That car's quite cool to handle.
The Elan Sprint was a financial
Yeah,
as well
really.
as an engineering success for Lotus, validating their approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters. Which brings us to this.
Or the
The
Exige.
Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much, much faster.
You can see me putting this through a fence into a field. It's absolutely stunning.
Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect.
Really nice looking.
With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising.
Always like Lotus cars. They were got a bedroom wall poster kind of thing as I was growing up. It would be the Lotus Elise.
Power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 200 meters, turn left. Turn left.
It drives really well. Handles quite nicely. I'll say that. My gearing is terrible, but that's just me. Rebecca's a bit quiet. Give us more information.
In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
I really like this.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports
1
car
star!
well into the next century.
Bit crap. Right, I think I'll leave it there for this episode. Next one, maybe do more of this. Maybe some of the other stories. Maybe the final showcase. We'll see. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you next time.